Everybody, thank you everybody for coming in person and joining online. We appreciate you coming. I know it's rainy and some people had some traffic issues, so myself included. I am going to call the IDDC board meeting to order 10:05 a.m. on May 14th. We have two board minute approvals. Last meeting we did not get to approve the board meeting, so we have the February 12th board meeting minutes. Do I have any changes? Okay, Steve Allison, thank you. Motion approved. We also have the approval of the March 19th board minutes. Steve.
Second.
Bernice, second. Okay. Thank you. I'm going to give you a quick IDDC update. I did send everyone an email. I didn't want anybody to be blindsided when they came into today's meeting. We did have a reduction in our budget, 85%. We have currently a $3 million line item, 500,000 of that, $500,000 goes directly to DNR promotion. So we're at a 2.5 budget line. As I said in my email, we will strategically think about what's next and how we move forward and gathering those plans. And that includes, changing our business operations as far as who does our payroll, et cetera. So a lot of talks in the work with the Secretary of Commerce. So anybody have any questions about that?
But any sense of timing and where we are as an organization and the merge and the things, just is there a
So July 1, of course, is the new fiscal year. We currently have, with our previous budget, we have all of our marketing procured through the end of the calendar year. So we're looking to keep that momentum going. And while we're doing that, plan for 2026, because we do all of our marketing on calendar year and the state is on
we'll
the
get a
fiscal.
boost through the end of this calendar year.
So hopefully looking at some ways, and we'll talk about that a little bit in the foundation meeting of how we can bring some more revenue in the foundation to do our business.
Do you think we could concentrate on sort of the social media side rather than the applied media because we got such limited funds?
We do both now currently,
Yeah.
but yeah, I would say any organic earned media and our own channels will be a priority with a smaller budget.
Yeah.
And help from partners. So, just even like collaborator posts on social media, that'll be more of a thing that we'll want to do. Yeah, good questions. But I do want to talk about the Aer Lingus flight. So kudos, Mario. I was at the inaugural coming in and saw you going out. What a great event at the airport. We did host a representative from Aer Lingus. We did host a group of media with Visit Indy, and we hosted a group of travel tour operators from Dublin area as well. And you can see them kissing the bricks at IMS. Visit Indy, IMS, great hosts with us as well. Dana Moore, we went to their restaurant, Root and Bone, while they were in Indy. We also visited French Lick Resort. So thank you to Steve and his team. They were great hosts as well. And then Patoka Lake. So we had a great 4.5 days of showing everybody the state of Indiana. And we've already been put on some itineraries in Dublin. So we're hoping that pans out and we get more international visitors. So great.
They were very nice.
Very nice.
I was very...
Yes, Steve actually came and greeted them at lunch one day up at the clubhouse, and they were taken back by the majestic West Baden Hotel and all that there was to do. So some of them went horseback riding and had never been on a horse. So there was 4 of them went on a horseback ride, and 3 of them had never been on a horse. And then when we took them to Wilston as well, all of those animals, they were like, oh my gosh, this is in Indiana. So, there was a lot of that. This is the surprise of this is in Indiana. So great event. So kudos to everybody that helped with that. We certainly couldn't do it without everybody. The last item is just some staffing changes. As you know, everybody knows Elaine, is retired. I did put that in air quotes because she is still around. David Holt had left. Jacob Harkin was added as a project manager. We did lose our digital specialist, Haley. And then our PR, other social person, Justice, he is on new parents leave, but he is going to be joining the Visit NDT in the next month as well. So I'm doing partnerships, so you know all about that.
Oh, yeah. So, and then because we're in a little bit of transition time, is there a hiring freeze?
The hiring freeze is lifted, but we're still working out the logistics with the budget. So those two positions may be combined. We're looking at that since they both were very similar, but different, but.
There a strategic planning session or anything yet that's scheduled to think about?
We're working with the Secretary of Commerce, on that part of it because they have hired a consultant to determine how we all work together in the commerce vertical. So,
Because that'll drive hiring, I would imagine.
yes, it will. Yes, it will. So, there could be somebody, across the street that might work for us. So, looking at all kinds of options like that. Good questions. That is all the updates on my end. Noelle, she had vacation already planned this week, so I'm going to give her update. The e-commerce online store, Q1, we had a total of $611 that we made with a profit of $405. We do have new Lincoln Amphitheater products, new T-shirts. Mark will probably talk more about that. They're not online yet. He's got a big kickoff that he'll mention on Friday that we'll be down there for. Of course, we have our May gear that we had online last year, and we are pushing that for the month of May and the India 500. No code required, $5 off if anyone is interested in that. So, Noel has been busy this month. We had signed on to do a Golf Newsnet partnership. They are shooting different vignettes, focusing on golf courses across the state, doing 4 different packages, one north, central, and south. Of course, they were at French Lick at the Pete Dye Golf Course there, the Brickyard, and then Sultan's Run and Jasper. So all encompassing of our great golf. So Noelle's been working on that. There's 12 courses that have been shot. We still need to go to 6 more. And they will run on the Golf News Network as well as we will own them. So we can do what we want with them and put them on our Pete Dye channels as well. Next, we did have our media marketplace earlier this year. Big thank you to Allison for helping us secure the Salesforce Court at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. We had over 75 media that attended. And what media marketplace is where we bring the media in and we invite our partners to come, and the partners set up and they tell everybody how great Indiana is and the things that there is to do. So we had 34 partners. And we did bring in $8,300 from that co-op through our partnership. And then, of course, everybody's gearing up for the WNBA All-Star Game. Of course, IDDC is supporting statewide outreach efforts. And Noelle, she's on every sports outdoor rec committee that there is, and she's fabulous. And so she will be engaging tourism partners across the state, not just in central Indiana, as we welcome our guests for the WNBA All-Star. And that was Noelle's quick update, and we will hear from Mark to give you the details on what's been happening at Lincoln Amphitheater. Mark.
Thank you very much, Amy, and good morning to everyone. I will be pretty concise and brief. It's pretty crazy here right now, as you might imagine, but our 2025 season is launching this weekend on Saturday and Sunday. We've got a sold-out event on Saturday. And our sales have continued to be strong. When we announced in February 4th, I think it was February 4th of this year, within the first 24 hours, we had, because of the new capacity and seating that we have, we sold more in single ticket gross revenue than we did all of last year. So it's definitely a game changer for us. 5 of the 10 Saturday nights that we have, music nights that we have, are sold out, and we have 2 other nights that are very close. And the 3 other shows that might not sell out are still selling strong. So we're looking forward to finally getting to see how this thing operates. This is our 10th year, and it's kind of like having a new baby this weekend, because it'll be the first chance we get to see it operating like this. We did have a soft opening rental event on Saturday, April 26th, which we were able to break in the new concessions building, not new building, but the renovated concessions building, and kind of get a better feel for that operation. So that has been good. The next slide is an overview, high level, of the new seating areas that we shared with our ticket holders as they prepare to come this weekend. This has been, as most of you have probably been around since the beginning of it, this has been a 3-year multi-phase project. And there was maybe after the first year where we had a little bit of lull of construction where we didn't have contractors on site, but we have definitely had contractors here nearly every day for the better part of 2 years. So we're kind of looking forward to that wrapping up. And then, as Amy mentioned, we have a ribbon cutting celebration in conjunction with DNR this Friday, May 16th at 11 a.m. I would like to thank Noelle for her help in helping keep us organized and in harmony with DNR, Indy's crew with that. And then Nate Riggs did an excellent job. I didn't include it in mine, but Noelle had it in her slides. That is an internal graphic that he created. And I think once we're able to get it in our merch tent and it's online, that will be something that moves quite a bit. So then very quickly, an overview of some of the projects. And you will see we waited as late as we could yesterday. We waited for a rainstorm to pass to get updated pictures, because I guess most of you would probably have been involved in some type of construction project. And those are work trucks. Those are contractor trucks. Those are contractors that you see. So everything's coming down to the last minute. But this is our entrance. This was actually phase 1. This is what kicked off the process 3 years ago. And that's how it looks today with the backdrop. Next screen, Sarah, please. The left image is a picture of the box office as it stands today, with the new composite siding, seating wall in the middle, overlooking what has been a green space for the 38 years of operation, and now it's becoming a more functional space. So we zoomed in on it on the right picture, which is it's a picnic area now that has overhead lighting. That is actually the final installation is today. Next screen, please. New restroom facility on the left, as well as new beer wine service, which was an update to a building that had ATMs in it, and some Abraham Lincoln information that it probably was an underutilized building. So this is a better use of the space for us. That's also a new seating wall for people, because we ate up a lot of the mezzanine area with the expanded seating. So we needed to create more walking space and social space. On the right, updated concessions building with a lift in the left-hand corner of it, because we couldn't get anything without equipment. Next, please, Sarah. Again, installing the overhead lights in a new space for patrons for socializing before the show and during intermission. The right picture is the bulk of our seating came in 2 sections, like the one in the right picture. I couldn't take a picture of the other side because it is not wrapped. As you can tell, that one is in process because the contractor undercalculated the amount of siding that we needed, and that just came in on Friday. So they're trying to get that done as quickly as possible. But those are the bulk of the seats. Each one of those is an additional 260 plus or minus. So that's a little bit over 500. And then if you go to the next screen, from the stage, which is wet because we had everything power washed and cleaned from a local contractor yesterday. Those viewing platforms, we're calling them Patio 1816 on the left, because that's the year that the Lincoln family arrived to Spencer County, and then Patio 1830 on the right, because that's when the Lincoln family departed. Those are more social experience spaces. And right now, plus or minus 150 additional seats. So we went from 1,500 seats to 2,200, and we're looking forward to getting going. That's all I have, Amy.
Great. Any questions for Mark?
It looks really nice. You know, that's tremendous improvement over where you were even when it was dedicated 38 years ago.
Well, thank you very much, Steve. And you guys are always welcome. And we look forward to having some of you guys down here if you ever have the chance.
Yeah. We did.
Thank you, Amy.
We did send out an invite to all the board and board members, foundation and IDDC board members. It could have gotten stuck in your spam, but no obligation. But we do want you to know that you are invited to the ribbon cutting on Friday. And as Mark said, anytime, give him a shout. So
Absolutely.
I'm there.
Thank you.
Dedication. I haven't been back.
you should come if you can.
Yeah, I need to do that.
If not, we'll make some arrangements for you, Steve. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Drew has our policy analytics update with some brand new numbers.
For some reason the PowerPoint has been cut off, so.
I think everybody can see it. So every year we do an economic impact of tourism in the annual report. We've been doing it for well over a decade, but over the past 2 years, we've done 92 county reports, which have been very well received. It's well received by the counties, but it's also important because as we get that more granular data at the county level, it makes our statewide report, that much better. We had a modest growth year from 2022 to 2023. You can see we had a little more spending growth, but that's really just capturing inflation. But across the board, we grew everywhere. And as we move forward, I'm a little more confident about where we're going to be in 2024, just because it sort of some data showing that we had a lot more sort of visitor spending in some areas. I would just say the biggest drawback to this report is that we get it an entire year. So we got the 2023 report in January of 2024. Now, some states will come out with economic impact reports in sort of as early as May or June. The issue is that it's just formulary. It is just projections. We wait until the BEA releases GDP data, which doesn't happen until November of the following year. And we've always done that in partnership with Visit Indy this way. So we have such a kind of a time series historical set of data that we don't really want to vary from it too much. One thing I just want to go over real quickly is we actually had a really great year when it comes to migration. The biggest takeaway I had was since 2020, every year we would have had a net migration deficit as a state. We would have been shrinking as a state if it wasn't just for Illinois. So finally, for the first year, even without Illinois, we would have had a net migration surplus. One of the most interesting things is that we had a 4,000 person net migration difference between Texas. We had been losing people to Texas for so many years now, and we've come back and we've really cut down to Georgia, the North Carolina, the Tennessee, and we're actually taking back from Kentucky. The only real outlier is Michigan. So for years, we had we were taking folks from Michigan, similar to how we're now taking them from Illinois. But I think this is sort of capturing the Detroit resurgence in this area. And go to the next slide.
Couldn't see our numbers, but what is our net migration?
So we were total net migration was 60,000, but that's capturing international immigration as well. Our domestic net migration was 30,000.
Do you have any granularity on age groups, occupations, education, or anything?
Yeah, we do. by age group, we definitely do. Gender. The only part is we can't necessarily see like from which state. So we can get the full picture of sort of age groups of sort of this 60,000 number of everybody, but we couldn't necessarily get age groups from Illinois. We could get the national, but they don't get that granular at the age group level.
Yeah, or education. So
Right.
Are there college students coming in or
Well,
construction workers or?
in our age group data, we can see that we get an influx of people from the 18 to 24-year-old range. And then we lose a bunch of people in the next 24 to 29 range. But then we sort of have this area where we start seeing from the 35 to 44 range, people coming back to the state. And then we see this jump also in like, I believe it's the 5 to 12 age group. So it's almost like people may be leaving, but we are bringing sort of families back. But this has been several years now that we've kind of leveled off as far as net domestic migration. But when you look at sort of this out over time, we've really benefited from international immigration. It's going to be interesting to see how that dynamic moves forward.
And you don't have which countries are
No.
are coming from?
Yeah, the census basically provides an overall number for all immigration, and they don't capture sort of immigration of Hoosiers to international countries. But just kind of given the history, it wouldn't be that significant that would like what we have here. Yeah, so basically this is just showing in the past year, this is just net migration, non-international, but this is sort of how the states fared in 2023. Like I said, Texas had over 130,000 people, and yet we had a positive net migration relationship with them. So, but if you think I like to see is compare us to our neighbors, we did really well. And then just one final thing, as we kind of think about the economic impact next year, when we look at 24 record innkeepers tax collections, and you see in 2023 there was an 8.5 or 8% increase on the top right there in 2023, and we're almost at 12. Well, that 8% increase pretty much matches our spending increase in the economic impact report. So this is a good indicator that we're really going to have, hopefully a banner year, a record year for visitor spending that matches our record innkeepers tax collections. Just because there was a lot of things between the NBA All-Star game, you had the eclipse, you kind of had the fever emerging as a regional, if not national, attraction that was bringing a lot of people to the state. So there's a lot of positive momentum last year that I think when we see the economic impact this coming year, hopefully we'll see a nice bump there. And it'll also represent the first year that we would sort of have our full scale marketing.
Anything?
Can you send us a copy to those? I'd like to study them.
Yeah, anybody, I have probably about 6 different ways to look at immigration, grad retention, anything. So I will just send you sort of everything I have in that area. I'll shoot it over to Amy, and if she wants to send it to everybody.
Absolutely. Yeah, everything we have is for public consumption that Drew does. I mean, all.
It's public data.
Yeah, so not.
Other than our economic impact.
But we do share that publicly. So it is on our website in case anybody needs to get it. So. Thank you, Drew. I don't know if you all met Lindsay before. She has been here, but usually I present the marketing. So she's going to take that over for this meeting and probably for the future.
Okay, well, welcome everybody. I'm glad to be here. And so we have kicked spring marketing campaign off with a huge kick, and it began in March, and This is our mid-campaign report that we received mid-April. And as you can see, we had a budget of 2.3. Tourism broke down to 2.2, and then of course our co-ops of 90,000. We had 113 million impressions that led to 1.8 million web sessions. Of course, our primary media market is Chicago, St. Louis, Louisville, Detroit, and Cincinnati. Participating co-op partners, and these are people who pay into the marketing and advertising, and then we match that. Festival Country, which is in Johnson County, Dunes Tourism, and then a partnership between Discover Southern Indiana as well as Du Bois County. And then to summarize our 2025 co-op partners, of course, I just went over spring, but summer, we have a huge participation, and that's at 50,000 per partner. So Steuben, South Shore, and then another partnership between Discover Indiana or Discover Southern Indiana and French Lick, Festival Country, and then Richmond, Wayne County. Fall's very popular too at Hendricks County, Shipshewana, Festival Country, and Steuben. We have a brand new event co-op. It's roughly a $10,000 buy-in, Columbus Area Visitor Center. They'll be participating for one of their exhibition events. Park County Covered Bridge Festival. It's a joint effort between several different cities that promote the Park County Covered Bridge Festival. As all of you probably know, it's our biggest festival here in Indiana. And then, of course, Hard Truth Distilling Company is participating with, I think, 4 or 5 of their different events, and we'll be kicking that off this summer. So thanks, Jeff, for that. We're excited for those of, and then that, of course, is the co-ops totaling 425,000. So great partnerships. I personally work on those co-ops with all of our partners, and you know, we can't say thank you enough to them, and hoping that it continue, even though, you know, our budget has been limited. So Sarah, if you want to move on.
When you partner with somebody like the Covered Bridge and both partner, explain that to me, and then what sort of promotion do you do? How does this system work?
Sure. Well, first of all, you know, we give them our yearly partnership kit, and they decide what they might want to partner. So for instance, spring is a $15,000 buy-in. So that partner works with us directly, and then we match that 15,000. And then how it begins is we start working with our creative agency. This year for spring, it's Envision It. And we come up with story ideas, and they match our Anything But Ordinary is our new campaign that we're you know, launching in 2025. And basically the marketing matches our marketing, but then it has their logo on there. So it's a joint partnership, and then, you know, spread out on the media.
It's a full media mix.
Yeah, full media mix. So, yeah. Does that clear that up? Or
Yeah, you know, you got so many dollars, but it doesn't go very far on this mass media.
it sure
So
doesn't.
Wondering how much was done on social, you know,
Oh, well,
internet versus print versus.
Very little print. I mean,
Yeah.
but everything's digital. I mean, we don't even do traditional linear broadcast because it costs so much and you can't really track it. So everything's digital, so we can track it.
So spring, you know, is 15,000 per co-op, and then summer is a $50,000 buy-in, and then fall is 10. Or I'm sorry, 15. And then we have a holiday and winter campaign too. So, you know, we've really worked hard to develop those partnerships throughout the state, and are pretty proud of those co-ops and numbers that will be
And
going
just so
over
you
to.
know, the fall got cut off at the bottom. There's Visit French Lick is on the fall.
Oh,
With Discover, her screen is having issues.
I'm so
That's why-
sorry.
Just for Steve's reference, so he knows that.
Yeah, so South Shore's a partner as well as Richmond, Wayne County for the fall too. I was just reading
We
off of
actually
the
have more,
screen.
we actually have more in the fall, but I knew it was getting cut off because Sarah's having some
Yeah.
issues, so.
And actually, that's our biggest fall co-op participation thus far. So we're really proud of that and thank our partners and like I said, hopefully it can continue even with our budget cuts. Our earned media and social, this might be what you're talking about. The earned media today, we've had media hits at 515 with a potential reach of 1.4 trillion. Yes, I said trillion. The web sessions of 3.5, which is a 50% increase of 2024. Views 5.5, 46% increase of 2024. Social media, Facebook, I mean, look at that number. It's pretty powerful there for page impressions as well as Instagram. And at that 10.5, it's really great numbers. So we're really proud of that earned media and social. And Sarah, hold on one second. You can see on the screen that Anything But Ordinary in Indiana is our new 2025 campaign. So we're really excited about that.
What are you building around that concept?
As far as what messaging, anything surprising, exciting, that people don't know that we have in Indiana. So, like when she goes to the next slide, it'll show our travel guide cover, which is scuba diving in Indiana. People don't know that you can scuba dive. And
Are
they're
they,
places.
are they in the canal?
France Park.
France
So-
Park is the cover,
Yeah.
and then of course at the dunes, they have a shipwreck up there. But exactly, you had no idea, and that's really what we're building it around. And the eighth wonder of the world at West Baden, just different things like that people are like, wow, you can really do that in Indiana. Yes, you can.
Did we, and I'm sorry if I missed it, but did we roll out that campaign, Anything But Ordinary? Like, was that a conversation
Yeah,
that
so,
we did and then it's out there and that's the logo that we'll use?
yeah, so it's anything that goes with the in Indiana part of it. So, we do still remarket with our, picture yourself, because it did so well last year to keep that out there, so.
And is there anything that you're doing with Anything But Ordinary in Indiana around All-Star?
Of course, we have a whole, that's in our mini campaigns, but yes. So, we got the toolkit that they had sent out, but yes, we are. Like right now, our mini campaign is focused on racing because it's the month of May. And then we will shift into that and then we do DNR January through November and take a break in December. So those are kind of what we call our mini campaigns and not our seasonal.
And then, of course, this is what Amy was referring to, our front of our travel guide, which we absolutely love. It's something so different and eye-catching and very, very proud of this. This is at France Park. So as Amy mentioned, our whole goal is to highlight this year, the surprising things and unique in Indiana. And of course, scuba diving, who would have known? So France Park. Travel guide sales, 515,254, newsletter, 55,000, digital, 113, and of course, media, 22,000.
Any questions for Lindsay? Anything else?
Can I get a copy of that Indiana travel guide? Where do I get that?
We will send you one, Denise.
Sure, yeah, we'll put one in
I
the
would
mail.
really like that. Yeah, scuba diving, that really gets my attention. Not that I do that or anything, but my kids do. But that's unusual. That's definitely, you stop and look at that twice. But if I could get a hard copy of that, I'd really appreciate it. I'd like to show that to our visitor center here who did do a little collaboration with you. So thank you.
Absolutely. We'll put one in the mail for you.
Will do, yep.
And we would love for you to direct folks at your visitor center to go to our website because they can download it for free as well.
They can, depends on if they
You
want.
know what? I can also do that from my business because we actually get more visitors that come through our business, I think, every month than the visitor center itself, because we are a state attraction, I must say. But, yeah, I would also, yeah, I'd like to look into that too for our.
Denise, we can send you a box.
That's what I was
to
getting
put
at.
at
Yeah.
your business,
You know
at
what?
the
They
antique
would
sale.
not be wasted. I can just tell you that. They will
Okay,
not be
we'll send you a
wasted.
box of 30 and you can let us know how it goes.
Okay, okay. Thank you. I need some day trips myself, so I might check them out.
Okay, perfect.
You work with it, field house.
Mostly Courtney in the sales. Why, you have somebody else?
I just, I used to take our magazines over to the
Yeah.
locker room because we have players that come in from all over the country that
Yes.
but Indiana.
Yeah,
And coaches and
Yeah.
trainers, and I just remember one of them saying, I wish there was someplace I could go hike. They only,
Oh, yeah,
they
yeah.
only know this, so I was trying to think about how you
Yeah.
can fit those magazines into.
yeah. Noelle, I mean, obviously Noelle works with the field house more than I do, but she may have a different contact, but if there's somebody you want to give us, we can reach out for sure. Yeah, whatever.
Are you thinking of putting up, you want a box too over there or what do you?
Well, I
what do you
wanna
think?
make sure it's
We get
connected
it
to
to the right
somebody, so the
people.
box doesn't sit in the locker room.
Gotcha,
But it's
okay.
like who over there would advocate. to
Yeah,
get
let us
that
know.
Magazine into
Yeah.
the players and coaches' hands.
Oh, great. And we have realtors that take them, keep them in their cars, take them around.
Bring them, get them out.
We got them. Karen,
We should put them, Mario, we should put those, have Aer Lingus put those maybe on, you probably don't have enough for the whole aircraft, but that would be fun to put those like in first class or up in business class.
we're
When they're,
working on that, Denise.
when they're leaving, okay.
We were working on that with Aer
We'll be happy to
Lingus.
do that.
Yeah,
I was a flight attendant in my former life. I'd be happy to volunteer on one of those flights, Mario.
What a giver.
all right, Karen, update on strategic initiatives.
So I'll just remind you all that part of our mission, in addition to tourism, is also to try to not just attract visitors, but attract a workforce in the form of talent and grad retention. And as your state's marketing agency, we're really focused on ROI and where we spend our money and having data around that. And one of our best investments, we believe, in workforce initiatives is working with interns because it ties so closely with grad retention. And I'll refer to some data that Drew has helped us to acquire, and that is that we are ranked 9th in the country at attracting students from outside of the state of Indiana, but currently ranked 38th at keeping them in the state.
So we've dropped, so we're only 9th. We've dropped to 9th of attracting students from out of Indiana.
Because weren't we second to Pennsylvania or something like
We
that?
used to be second.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I remember Elaine always saying
Yeah.
that stat.
Mhm.
We were,
Interesting.
but Drew was crunching the numbers and Drew came up with the night.
That's what the census, I mean, California, Arizona, they're so far out in front of everybody else at attracting out of state students. But I've always found it to be around 10.
It used to be 2, but let's be honest, that was before there was a lot of data analytics, so we might have made it up.
We may have gotten it from somewhere else.
I don't know.
Well, I will say it could be 2. Yeah, it could be 2 in the percent of the student body that is from out of state. Just because IU, Bloomington, Purdue, and Notre Dame, they're not nearly as big, but they have such a high percentage of out of state and international.
Compared to what's the 9 represent? The 2 is the percentage, what's your 9?
That would be volume, so the 9th most students from out of state come to our colleges, which is probably second as a percent of total students.
So that was just it, yeah.
Head count.
Yeah.
Is 9. Still great. I just was curious about.
Quite a change. Yeah.
And sorry to interrupt, you talked about the intern programs with the budget cuts. Are you still as involved in FFA, which was always a big recruiter?
It's a line item.
Okay, so
However,
it's still-
it's not, it doesn't come out of our line.
Oh, not of you guys, but that
Yes,
is.
but it
that's
is
a
under
big-
us, yes. So there's still $500,000 that goes to
Okay.
FFA, and Studebaker and Grissom, and then Sports Corp and the bid fund. Like, that's technically not our budget, but it's a different line item under us.
Okay,
Yes.
gotcha. I just, FFA,
No,
because I worked with them for so long, how many kids actually came back to work in Indianapolis or go to school
Yeah.
because they had such a positive
Mhm.
experience. That's huge.
And Noelle, she's on the LOC for that,
Right,
so,
of
you know,
course.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I wanted to ask that.
I would appreciate the question.
Sorry.
And if you ever need a contact, excuse me, but if you ever need a contact for that group, Nicole, my daughter, runs all of their convention at
Yes.
Media Group. So, you know, I'm sure she'd be happy to assist you, however, down the road.
No, thank you, because I know she's actually looking to hire another person at the moment. She reached out, if I had any recommendations. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
And I'll get to that in just one second, Allison. But I kind of wanted to finish painting that picture. That may seem like a big disparity, what we have coming in versus what we keep. But we really see that as a marketing opportunity because we've not really marketed to this demographic. We also learned through partnerships with Drew and the governor's workforce cabinet that this demographic is different from any other age group that we have surveyed in terms of workforce, and that they rank work-life balance higher than salary. Every other demographic ranks salary first. And work-life balance is not, contrary to what you might think, hybrid work schedule or even hours, because those were different questions in the same survey. Work-life balance to these students mean what they do outside of their work day. And that's why showing them destination experiences while they're doing internships helps to kind of paint that picture of what life would be like in Indiana, especially since about half of these students are from Indiana. So we want to introduce them to different destinations while they're doing their internships, while they're thinking about, hey, do I want to stay here? Do I want to work for this company? Do I want to live in Indiana? But to answer your question, Allison, it is unclear where grad retention will fall in the vertical of that we're in right now, but I believe tourism will be the focus of IDDC for the future. So I'm thrilled to be working with these communities. They are so excited about continuing the programs that they're continuing, and all of the funding that we give to these communities specifically goes to destination experiences for the students there. And if you, I think I have a couple other things to add because this is my one slide. We are inaugurating the one in the greater Lafayette area. That's why they have a larger budget. It's their first year. They've identified 300 interns in the community that they've never gathered together to have one of these intern experiences. So they're going to bring them together, give them fellowship opportunities, introduce them to leadership in the community, and then give them 3 different destination experiences in the greater Lafayette area. We're really excited about that. And just to remind you, this is the second year for Terre Haute, and they've doubled their program since their inaugural year that we hope them to start. And just a little bit more information about the intern programs. Previously, we've always surveyed to gather ROI data. This year, we are doing surveying that is consistent for all of them. So we're giving them the survey rather than relying on them so that we have a little bit more return on investment data to be able to look at that statewide and see how our investment is doing in this population. And we've also developed a syllabus for other communities to take when they want to start their own, so they can do it on their own.
Their own internship?
Their own internship program. So these are all internships at different companies all over the state, but the program gathers this young talent together so that they can see, oh, hey, I know the interns at my company, but I didn't know the other young talent also in the area. And again, it just helps paint that picture of what life would be like in the community when they see other young people also making the decisions to stay.
So quick question with the Butler group, because Butler every summer, because I'm an alum and then I'm a trustee as well, but every summer they bring all the kids in a particular program of internships all over the city. And that's exactly what they do. They go to all the cool attractions, have you connected with them at all?
Absolutely.
Okay, wonderful, because it seems like they've just been doing indie, but maybe I'm missing it because I'm always just on the indie one.
So they do, and Purdue Indianapolis is starting a program
Okay,
similar,
good.
and they actually plucked the Butler talent to start the program at
Okay.
Purdue Indy.
Well, that makes sense.
But they invite us to come and talk about Indiana as well. And the way that we've kind of broached those partnerships is to try in all of these intern programs, as I show up as often as I can, to get students to sign up for our newsletters. Because the newsletters promote things all over the state of Indiana, not just in Indianapolis. But for those schools that are located here, highlighting our capital city makes the most sense for them.
Yeah.
And then the Lilly Scholars Network, you may remember last summer, we inaugurated a program with them that was a social media influencer program. And it was really successful, but we opted not to fund that this year. They liked it so well, they're carrying it on themselves and funding it themselves. So we're working with them, giving them a little swag for their next crop of social influencers. But we're really excited that they're continuing that program, and they will tag Visit Indiana on all of their destinations that they visit as well.
And that's the idea, is that, we help kick off these programs and they continue them on their own. Be self-sufficient, so.
Is there a way for us to connect to them outside of newsletters? Like, I'm thinking of my college kids that would never read a newsletter that I sent to them, like reels or for capturing a phone number that we could do text or whatever, that are shorter little nuggets to say, hey, this weekend in Madison, there's this band playing.
The purpose of getting them signed up to the newsletters is so that we can get their data. We've got their email. We have previously not been able to focus a concerted effort on advertising with that data, but
We did do influencers with students last summer, actually, student athletes in particular. So that was back when Kyle was here, so I don't remember all of the details, but
it was our first effort at
Yeah.
trying something.
They're influencers to help us promote some of the events and things going on.
But Amy also had her team develop a little commercial that's specifically geared toward college life. And we're trying to work with our higher ed partners to push that out on their own social media channels because we don't have access to that data. So that's another opportunity to use the emails for it. It's our only way of gathering information about this.
we can't be on TikTok or whatever we have.
I mean, it's just hard to get their attention. That's where my
Yeah.
mind is at.
I have attention at this age. I mean, my phone just keeps scrolling. So, but
Giving them this experience, though, specifically with the internships and with fellow young talent, those memories are powerful.
Oh, for sure.
A great conversation here. Does anyone have any other questions?
thank you, Karen. David Buskell, here to talk about our sales and,
Quality of life.
yes, quality.
This is our program where we're marketing communities outside the state or give people the opportunity if they're moving to the state or coming to the state, what they like. So we're in the middle of 2 campaigns now with the Dunes Tourism and Anderson with Madison County. They did it. So hopefully the next meeting we have, I'll have all the numbers, how successful it was. So they're in the middle of that campaign right now. For the summer, I'm working with the Tipton and also Jackson County. We have a couple more meetings with Jackson County to get everybody on board, and hopefully we can, if it doesn't happen this summer, we'll be sure to happen in the fall. So, and then many other conversations, especially it's interesting the parents communities that she had listed, a number of those have done these partnerships with us or are looking to expand and do them in the future too. So it's kind of interesting what communities are really taking advantage of this type of mayors and leadership you see out there in Indiana. So we're going to continue with that throughout the year. Then the larger one we've been working on for several months is with the Northeast Indiana Partnership, which is the 11 counties around Fort Wayne. And they have a bigger vision of what they're wanting to do is market the entire area. And they went to one of their planning organizations that has a line item from the legislature money. And they requested over I think almost $5 million, $4.5 million over 5 years to do marketing. And that would be a co-branding effort where we would help with their marketing and they would use our Indiana brand. And
It's not a match.
yeah, and this is not
Just
a match.
FYI, not a match.
So this would be our brand out there. They're spending their money, so we would. And we're putting our expertise and I think rates would be one of their advisors, so.
Basically our research that,
All our research,
Yeah.
and I've been helping them because there's part of what look like they're gonna have to do is match, so they're not gonna get the full ornament. So they have got to come up with money for partnerships with the communities. And many of the communities I've already talked to, and then I give them a heads up who's very interested. It'll be a good partnership. We just got to keep moving forward.
any questions for David? Thank you, David. Sarah got to lead our grants this year, so she's gonna tell us how all of that went.
So like Amy said, I did take over grants in October and they went live in October. So I would first want to thank our IDDC board. They do vote and help with deciding who obviously gets the grants. So thank you, Allison and Steve and Aaron, who were on that call to kind of hear all the presentations. So our big grants, which are 50,000 to up to 250,000, are the destination developments. We awarded Conner Prairie 50,000. We then awarded Academy of Model Aeronautics Foundation up in Muncie 140,000. Richmond Parks and Rec, we awarded 50,000. The War Memorial in Fort Wayne, we awarded 75,000, and then Vigo County, we awarded 50,000 for a total of 365,000. The Vigo County, we fully funded, and the War Memorial, we did fully fund, so they only asked for those amounts. The other three, we did give partial amounts to them just because the board thought they were such great projects that they did want to fund those. And all of these will have in Indiana on them. These take longer to come about just because they're big projects. So we don't have final renderings yet of all of them and how the in Indiana brand will be incorporated. The other,
Can you share like what projects they're doing?
yeah, so Conner Prairie is doing a new museum experience that includes like a wellspring and 2 permanent galleries and a changing gallery. The big thing is the wellspring, and it has like a big tree in it that the kids can kind of climb. It's interactive, and there's only one other in the country, I believe, and Conner Prairie did put in place that the designer of it cannot do any other of them within so many miles.
Midwest at the very least it was.
Yeah, it was a large area that they went ahead and put in place. So that's nice. And then the Model of Aeronautics, they are expanding their museum and very outdated. So they're making it more updated. So like if schools come, they have the better technology and things like that. They're also doing some outdoor renovations so that they do a lot of model airplane competitions. That's what I can think of it. So they're expanding that to be more user friendly. So then the Richmond Parks and Rec is doing a picnic shelter as their first phase of the Whitewater Valley Gorge Park project. So it is, I believe, 3 phases, and we're helping fund the first phase. So it will just be a picnic shelter, but it has a playground, a great area for communities, and the destination with how they're expanding the White River Valley Gorge down there. Then the War Memorial in Fort Wayne is actually going to be a tribute to women in the military. It will be a shrine of 3 different pillars, and it will kind of explain the history there. And then the Vigo County is a gold level disc golf course, which will be the first of its kind in Indiana, which will actually get professional disc golf tournaments here. And they said that for community, it will be free to play there, but for like the tournaments, obviously it will cost.
Is that at Deming Park? Done that?
Yeah. And that project, they actually, I think, plan to finish by the end of the year. All the others will take the full 18 months to 2 years to complete, but they want that done by the end of the year so they can actually start in 2026 holding competition.
And the CVB is promised.
Yes, yes. Yeah, so great partners all around for that. And then the other grants we have are the placemaking grants. And we funded 8 placemaking grants for a total of $85,000 and some change. So in total with the destination, that did put us over our $450,000 just by $143.40. But we really
We figured it out.
yeah, we figured out we could get that.
Well, we don't have coffee today.
Yeah. You didn't request coffee out.
I can go get you some coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
This is one of the placemaking. It's in project. This is down in the Orange County area. So it's on Monon South.
Orleans. I actually just drove by it coming back from the resort. So.
I just noticed it yesterday,
Yeah, they just started last week.
but those have been eyesores. I've been trying to figure out something to do. It's entry of Orleans. And I came through yesterday. I said, well, something I thought of something.
Yes,
Yeah,
that was the Orange County Economic Development that applied for this.
yeah,
so.
but it's very nice. And really, just a couple other things there to make the entry to town much better.
Absolutely.
So yeah, the 8 projects were Blue River Community Foundation. They're doing a Mount Fiji alleyway project, which is very cool. Brown County Playhouse is doing a mural. The city of Boonville is doing an Abraham Lincoln, 2 Abraham Lincoln statues. Greensburg Main Street is doing some trail signage of the Monon South. Then we have sculptural trails. Outdoor Museum is doing sculptures and placards. Spencer County is doing a mural, and then the town of Linville is doing an entrance sign to one of their trails down there. Any questions about the grants for this year?
And I think Sarah you put the link to the release that has a lot of these details just in case. And
Yeah, and I believe it got sent to everyone as well. Yes, just in case. So the placemaking they don't have as much time to complete them with them being smaller projects. So that's why this one is already halfway done, hopefully.
Any questions for any members of the team? Okay.
I am curious if when I think about this year's All-Star, last year amazing, all of these
Yes,
things.
yes.
Are there other big tentpole events other than? the
Not
WNBA
really.
All-Star?
I mean, it's really WNBA is the biggest. I mean, obviously, we were helping with Sweets and Snacks Expo. I mean, it was more, just those kind of things. We're taking it case by case basis because nothing is on the scale of an All-Star game or an Eclipse or Taylor Swift.
Yeah, right, that was a lot.
Yeah, that was a lot.
And do you envision there would be anything for us in the following year with the anniversary, 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence? Is there an Indiana play there?
Yes, there is. In this session, actually, those duties got moved over to DNR. And so Noel's actually on that committee as well. Noel's on every committee. But they were given money from the legislature, DNR was, of how to promote that. And they have asked us to help with the marketing of that. And so she's also working with the Indiana Tourism Association as their communities start doing their own planning. So yes, that is on the docket. Yeah. Anything else for the team?
This is Jeff, could I give a little update on something that's happening here at Hard Truth this summer for everybody?
Sure.
Started last December when we helped sponsor the World Food Championships, specifically the mixology part of that in Indianapolis. And a bigger relationship has come from that with us and the World Food Championship folks. And that's run by Mike McLeod. And the World Food Championships, by the way, are back in Indianapolis, October 31st, I believe, this year. So what we've got going, I want to let you guys know about this summer. is we're having an event here at Hard Truth, June 27th, that is a golden ticket event for the World Food Championships, which means it's a live fire event. You know, live fire, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, you can look it up. It's the, you know, it's another avenue of barbecue, really. And part of what we're leaning into is bourbon and barbecue this summer. But to make a long story short, this golden ticket event, WFC has selected 8 teams from around the world, 7 of them from the United States, one international team. They'll be at Hard Truth. They'll do their thing. It's a ticketed event. We'll sell about 1,400 tickets. But what happens for the winner of that, the winner of that goes straight to the World Championship. So that's why they call it a golden ticket event, because they skip all the semifinals, quarterfinals, that kind of stuff, and they go straight from Hard Truth to the World Food Championship. So it's going to be a neat event, something new for us. If any of you are interested in finding out more about it, be happy to fill you in. The other thing I wanted to mention is that Haley, who left IDDC, is here with us at Hard Truth, and she's a big part of this event. So I want to thank all you folks at IDDC that helped bring her along and give her the experience that she had when she came to us.
Thank you, Jeff. You definitely got a good one. And, you know, that relationship we cultivated with her is why Hard Truth's doing that event co-op with us. And we will be promoting that event very heavily for the World Food Championship. So thank you.
Can I just follow up on that too? Jeff, just for awareness, this is Allison. So we're talking with Mike on Thursday for the World Food Championship to come to Marvella.
Oh, nice.
We'll have, because so Marvella we're finishing our, thanks for asking about, finishing our cap raise, close. The goal is to put a shovel in the ground at Fair Oaks in July. Then we'll have 2 years to build, but we'll have an open kitchen there for girls to learn about nutrition, visiting chefs. So that's part of it. And then we're hoping to tip off our Marvella mobile unit, which will be a van that travels to all the communities of Indiana for starting in July, so that we take good mental health, sports, activity to kids while we're doing the build at Fair Oaks. So we'll have a 2-year runway to build more momentum around that. So
Very
maybe
cool.
we can partner with you guys on promoting Marvella Mobile.
I have a 12-year-old home that would be interested in that.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be great. That's part of, but anyway, Jeff, just wanted to make sure you had the awareness on the extension of that.
Sure. Thank you.
Thanks for mentioning it.
In that, do you have something that sort of educates parents on these are things that you ought to be watching for? See these, your kids may have problems.
Thank you for asking that. So we're doubling down on lots of those issues, working with the Aspen Institute on Project Play to develop a new parent checklist if your kids are playing sports. We're working at IU labs because girls have higher level of injuries than boys. And so what are we teaching coaches? We're working with Positive Coaching of America, Chicago. These types of tools to get parents to their coaches. A lot of the coaches for kids are parents that haven't really been trained as coaches. So we're really trying to figure out the right, not to overburden people, but how do we connect when we're in these communities to give some additional tools?
Yeah, there are just a lot of parents, but also the coaches that you watch and you just think they're doing the wrong thing.
100%. Yeah. Good intentions, bad actions. Like it just doesn't. And that's why we think the partnership with Positive Coaching of America, Kevin Love Foundation around mental health, all of these organizations, but we're super excited about IU and Sport Tech HQ and the work we're doing there to how do you develop new modules and tools to help parents and coaches.
We are so lucky to have this resource. You know, like we've just got to get behind this in a really big way and help promote that. I mean, talk about a differentiator. I mean, I don't think there's any place like it.
There is, it's the first in the country. We'll have 400,000 girls coming through the Marvella campus by year 5. So the model is, then they come with parents. So when boys travel, they travel with their coach. When girls travel, they travel with their parents. So it's a real economic and regional impact for our state. Okay. Thank you.
There's been a lot of people pushing behind this Northwest Indiana Forum, the Newton County itself. So, ready dollars have gone to this, so. It's gonna be big.
Yeah, so it's a matter of now elevating it to Governor Braun and, and their team so that they take on new opportunities.
No, good updates from the board. Anybody else before?
Real estate deals in that
Yes.
area, because all those families are gonna
Yes.
need
We love it.
VRBO.
We're gonna find more houses.
I know you do.
Love it.
Build
them.
I mean,
more
seriously,
jobs,
right?
yes.
It's so true.
Have one thing.
Yes,
One of the other hats I wear besides being counsel for the foundation is I'm board chair at the Indiana Historical Society.
Oh, yeah.
We're doing a 50th anniversary, 50 years retrospective on the end of the Vietnam War. It'll start after the summer. And as part of that, and we think will draw people downtown. As part of that, we're making a push for something we always do, is conducting oral histories of people who have significant stories to tell in Indiana. And so right now, of course, that's a push for veterans' story, whether they were in Vietnam or serving somewhere else during the Vietnam era. Make everybody aware, and I can have Jody send over.
yeah.
Some of the-
And
some of
we
the-
have a perfect place on our website for that,
Yeah.
with our military monuments and museums page. So,
I'll get that.
yeah, no, that'd be great.
So what you might, thank you for mentioning that, and John Wexler Folknote is starting to do oral histories of veterans.
On the cards.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be fun, but Amy, I did just learn this morning, on May 22nd, there were gonna be a brick ceremony
Oh,
for a Civil War soldier from Indiana who served in the Civil War.
okay.
It might be the first brick on Monument Circle for a Civil War
Okay.
service member,
Got it.
May 22nd.
22nd.
So that's, we're talking about.
Perfect,
Out
thank
of
you.
the ordinary.
Yeah, absolutely.
Indiana. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And the family is flying in from California
Okay.
for the ceremony. 10:30 a.m.
10:30.
I think that's right.
Thank you. Thank you all. Appreciate your participation and input today. Love that. We do have 2 more quarterly meetings for the rest of the year. Wednesday, August 13th and November 5th, both in person and virtual. So again, August 13th, so you will hear from Sarah probably like 2 weeks before, if not sooner. It will be here if you choose to come in person. It will be on Teams if you choose to do it virtual. Anything else for the good of the order, or do I have a motion?
So moved.
Steve first, anyone second? Second. All right, Allison, thank you. This IDDC board meeting is now closed. Anyone from either board can remain. We do have some business for the foundation.